Hello everybody, I'm Lauren.
And I am Kyle.
And we are the coaches at TeamCosmicBodies, and in this video we're going to be talking about training around an injury that you may have.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes people use it as an excuse to not go to the gym. Or it's like, just because you have a shoulder injury doesn't mean you can't go in there and work legs still, or you can still work around it. So you definitely don't want to work through it. That's obvious. If you are injured, don't just like push through and keep getting more injured or be in pain and it affects your everyday life. You know, you need to go see a specialist, a physical therapist, a doctor, or just give yourself a break and time and all that stuff. But yeah, I do see that a lot. People will bring up injuries and why they're not in the gym, and they could technically still be going in there. So what's the example we were just talking about as far as like your back? If your back is kind of hurting from deadlifts, what could you do?
Yeah, if your back
not
is
super
hurting
injured, but you're just like
from deadlift. I mean, deadlift is you're working your glutes and your hamstrings. I mean, I would try maybe a cable pull through instead. Right? That's some sort of type of deadlift. I mean, try that out, see if that hurts and how that feels.
And that's with a rope. So it's like you have like a sumo stance and you're doing a cable pull.
Or I have some clients that we're just not doing a barbell deadlift. Like instead, we're doing like an RDL and we're not going all the way down. Like we're going just slightly below the knee, and then they don't feel any pressure in their lower back at all.
Yeah. So I guess that's the example, is that you can change your exercise selection to help you work around some type of injury, especially if it's a minor injury, a small strain, overuse injury, just tight muscle or something like that. You, instead of a deadlift, you can do a back extension, a glute bridge on the ground is like the most basic thing you could do, a hip thrust, or like she said, you do an RDL, Romanian deadlift, where you're not necessarily going that far down. You just kind of go very slightly past the knees. And so another example within lat pull downs, let's say it kind of gives you issues later in the day after doing lat pull downs. What would you do if you're doing pronated lat pull downs or something like that?
Yeah, this has been an issue for me my whole life. My whole lifting, I was going like this. And then this was just causing so much pressure on my neck and my shoulders that now we do a neutral grip. So every time I'm doing a lat pull down, I'm doing a neutral grip. And there's tons of little clips and adjustments. And, looking at your gym, they got crazy stuff now these days. Maybe you are doing something close grip like this where your hands are neutral. But yeah, we have this really cool one that like you grip on the sides like that.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's just, it puts my neck in a good position. I sleep good that night because I didn't mess up my neck.
Yeah, so look at the grips.
Yeah.
And then doing an underhand grip for a row or something like that. You don't have to necessarily do everything overhand or this way. You just can find, and you'd be surprised how much that helps to work around things. From doing pronated to supinated, which is underhand, right, to neutral grip. So stuff like that, or moving away from like a high row, and you can just like, it's better for you to do a dumbbell row kneeling. So yeah, you can definitely you don't have to work through injuries. You can, if it's really bad, you can just work different like actual muscles. So if you are just messed up on your chest and shoulder, yeah, it's like a chance to get stronger on some of your lower body stuff, or you can just find different exercises to work around it. Of course, go see a specialist and all that stuff. But I would say don't use it as an excuse. Like still get in there, and because it'll be good for you mentally.
It's good for you mentally, and especially like, I know this was an injury when I was recovering from my breast augmentation. I couldn't work my upper body for like 8 weeks. So I still went in the gym to work my lower body. Like it's like, it just helped with your mental side of things. And I'm not going to just use it as an excuse and go, I'm just not going to work out for 8 weeks
well,
at all.
especially because especially for beginners. You get in there, everything's going well. It could be even like 3 years or a few months or whatever. And then you get injured, and then you get off of your routine and off your habits. And the next thing you know, it's been how many years? You go, I used to be in such good shape. Compared to if you just never quit, even if it's just once or twice a week, you're getting in there, doing some cardio, doing a little bit of rows, doing a little bit of like the hip thrust, like the simplest 2-3 exercises. It keeps you in there, it keeps you going, keeps those habits going.
It's frustrating. I mean, I know I see Kyle, he deals with a lot of upper body injuries and just nagging things, and he's still in there, and I'm just like, wow, because he's actually, it helps him mentally.
Yeah,
plus
I've been injured for like a decade.
Yeah, he's been injured, and he always is trying to find a new movement to do, working around it. And I was dealing with shoulder issues my whole lifting career, which we'll make another video about.
And what did you say before this? You're just like, everybody's
injured. I mean we're bodybuilders. I mean we are a little bit in pain somewhere. I mean, and so that's why having a coach is really important to help guide you through it and help work with you around, okay, what movements should we do for you? Because everybody's body's different. I mean, seriously, I thought I could be overhead pressing and like doing all of this back in the day, and it totally destroyed me. So
yeah, that's a good example. Is now, a lot of people can't do shoulder press and overhead press. That you should do an incline bench if you can, because it still hits anterior delt, and it's just a lot safer. You can like put your rotator cuff in a good position. So do an incline bench instead of doing a ton of shoulder press and overhead press. And some people can handle overhead press for a while, and some get hurt kind of a lot quicker.
And it's just like having. We're going to talk about proper technique in the next video, but I think we hit everything on. Yeah,
just like working around injuries. And also, last thing is, if you are injured, it's not necessarily the best time to cut and take away food and take away resources to help aid recovery. So if you're constantly cutting and you're constantly injured, it's not just about your training. And check your sleep, check your calories and your protein and stuff like that. Some of those basics. Are you hydrated? So,
yeah, the recovery side of things is super important.
Yeah, like if you're injured and you're just like pushing through it, it's not necessarily just your training. So yeah, training around injuries, don't stop, don't quit, keep after it.
Yeah.